This is MGTheFuture with an exclusive tutorial for the MachineMasters.com. Today I'm going to be focused on converting audio to MIDI using Ableton Live. And as you can tell by the theme song, it's probably be inspired by Timbaland a bit. So without much further ado, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing on our plate today is going to be slicing drums to MIDI. And here's the loop I got going right here. I'll speed that up for you guys. Alright, so most of these functions are going to come from your right click on Ableton Live. When you right click on a clip. And here you'll see slice to new MIDI, harmony to MIDI, melody MIDI, drums to MIDI. For this example, I'm going to go ahead and do drums to MIDI. So I'll stop the playback. You just left click. Live's going to go ahead and create a rack for you for all the sounds it thinks you're using. Live, this particular function calls out 3 types of sounds: the kick, the snare, and the hi-hat. Even if your particular example doesn't have those, it'll assign those sounds to it. I'll go ahead and mute the audio track so you just hear the MIDI playback. That's pretty cool, right? It's also velocity sensitive, so if you give it like hi-hat loops or like marching band drums, it'll try to find the velocity for you too. And you kind of test it out. You go ahead and layer it up with the original audio, see if it's close. That's pretty cool, right? Next part, we're going to go ahead and convert a bass line to a MIDI track. The function itself is called melody to MIDI. They normally use it to convert like parts of you singing or playing some kind of monophonic instrument. You can assign it to a MIDI channel. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So it's a regular synth bass loop. But let's say you forgot what note you played for whatever reason, or if a friend that you're collaborating with sent it to you, and you want to go ahead and assign a new sound or play some chords around it, you'll use this function. Ableton went ahead and assigned an instrument to it. Already a synth bass. And from here, you can kind of tweak it. You can put a different VST here or a different bass instrument. But more importantly, you can see the notes. You can fold the track and make adjustments. You can quantize it if you want. As you can see, this is offbeat a little bit. But basically, that's it. Very, very useful. It's probably the most magical one. This one's called harmony to MIDI. This will let you take polyphonic material and it'll do its best to find the notes. Similar to the one we did with bass, but this one tries its best to give you chords. Check it out. So it's a piano performance. You can use anything, a guitar, sometimes sampled music that might have a few more instruments. As long as they're harmonic with each other and there's not a lot of reverb or delay, it does a pretty good job at getting it. As per usual, Ableton assigned an instrument to it for us and gave us the chords. Is that crazy or what? Just nuts, man. That's wild, man. Make a few adjustments to that. You can assign a different sound to it, like a pad. You can rearrange the chords if you wanted to. But certainly not least, we're going to do the slice to new MIDI track. This is more, I guess if you ever use Slice X with Fruity Loops, or Dr. Rex and Reason, and even Maschine for the most part, is when it detects your transients and just assigns it to its own pad. And then from there, you can rearrange the pads or notes around to make your own groove out of it. So I'm going to show you how that works in Ableton. This is kind of like an effects track. More commonly, you probably do this with like drum breaks. Anything really, but let's go ahead and chop it up. Ableton Live has different slicing presets for you. You choose from the drop down. I say just experiment with them. In different chopping modes, the 4ths, 8ths, 16ths. I'm gonna do transient. And went ahead and made a new drum rack for us with each of our slices and automatically assign the MIDI notes to correspond. This way you can speed it up without stretching it. And more importantly, you can play it across your keyboard. So I know you'll find that very useful, very common, but definitely dope to have. Once everything's said and done, you can go ahead and rearrange these different tools and make your own tracks out of them. Really, just be sure when you're using the harmony and melody tool that you put everything in the right key. In the example I'm about to play, I went ahead and switched out all the instruments for an Omnisphere instance. You can use whatever you want. Even on the drums to MIDI track, I went ahead and put my own drums in there. But other than that, I hope you guys liked this tutorial. Again, this was MGTheFuture. For more tips, tricks, and tutorials, be sure you visit themachinemasters.com. And hopefully this inspired you guys. Definitely let us know what you would like to see or learn in the future.